So let's explore supporting the needs of the whole child when it comes to context. So in this example, I'm going to give the context of the dentist. So let's go back to the wonderful pyramid, the wonderful scale. We go through part by part. So at the bottom of that, we have the nervous system. So when you think about, right, that young person, that child, individual, needs the best opportunity to regulate their nervous system to enable them to go to this place. We're going to say is the dentist. What sort of things would that be? We have hydration, and it's not just in, the night before. This is a build-up of, this is hydration. How hydrated are they on a day-to-day basis? Gut health. How regulated is their gut health? How well is it taken care of? And we know what happens when we eat lots of sugar. Be aware. Then we have sleep. Do they have lots of opportunity to have a good night's sleep? Movement. Do they have lots of opportunity to move their body, to move their system? That fluid movement. So let's imagine you've looked at each of those areas in turn, and things have been put in place for a few months, things are positive in that respect. Let's go up. Now we've got attachment. Okay, so what are their attachment styles? When it comes to context, right, well, let's imagine that they don't have a secure attachment style. They're about to go into an environment where they're going to need to trust. Trust somebody they've never met. Tricky, isn't it? Really, really tricky for that nervous system to go in to an environment where they don't know the person. But let's imagine that, okay, maybe there's a photograph that's been sent of the person, maybe they've seen them, who knows, there might even be videos. Then we're going in. When it comes to that attachment, they're going to need parent, carer, trusted adult there. They're going to need that for that attachment. It's a must. So we've got a regulated nervous system, and we're meeting the need of attachment by having the trusted adult there with them. Okay, so now we're going up. What's next? Sensory system. Sensory system, when it comes to the dentist, huge. You have the noise. Gosh, the noise. You have people talking on reception, people talking in and out, walking in and out. You have the floor, the wonderful laminate floor, click, 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 echoey rooms, potentially. You have the noise of the machines, the drilling and the cleaning and you've got a lot of noise. Then you go in and you're sitting. So if you think about, so that's auditory. Think about sitting in a chair. You're lying back. If your vestibular system feels unsafe with movement, all right, so this is getting harder for the system, isn't it? You're moving back, and then you have this bright light shining in your face. All right, so we've got the noise, we've got the fact that our vestibular system has been impacted, making us feel, okay, it's a little bit dysregulated now. Now we have tactile. We have somebody in our mouth. For the child, it is really hard. Right, I'm trusting this person and they are touching, moving, not telling me, maybe telling me what they're going to do. I don't know, because I'm zoning out. Think about the scale. It's getting too much. This is turned offline. They keep talking at me. So, tactile. Water this, sucking that. Then you have proximity. They are really close, aren't they? So if you just imagine all of those things, the smells, the taste, what's in your mouth when you go, tactile, that all of that is happening to a nervous system that was just, it was okay, but now it's starting to feel attachment. Oh, we're okay because mum, dad, caregivers around. Now we're starting to, so going to, I think that's my window of tolerance to deal with this situation. We are now coming out of that. Even with, so let's go to the next point. What's the next point? Emotions. Even with the strategies and tools of bilateral work, visualizing, meditations, breath work, even with all of that they have been taught, in that moment, they are going to feel overwhelmed. So we have an overwhelmed young person trying to regulate their nervous system, trying to not feel overwhelmed. So if you go to the orange, not feeling like they're going to freak out any minute. And then what happens, go further up, what's the one above that? Connection, social connection. And then afterwards they keep talking, the adult, talking to that young person. This is offline at this point, and they don't want lots of information, can't cope with lots of information, so they're just nodding. They might have dissociated, don't know, because you can't get angry, you can't bottle that up, you've got to just get on with it. So you can understand the complexities when it comes to context, and we can do things, we can put interventions in place, and we can address the nervous system, the attachment style. We can put things in place to help understand sensory differences, put things in place to regulate that system, know the strategies and tools for emotional regulation. But when you have different contexts, it's harder. We need to give them opportunities to have all of that, all of the time, in different contexts, not in one intervention space. So Tracy's, we've done her profile, right? Yeah, let's start at the bottom. Okay, done that, right. She now can regulate. She can talk about her emotions. She can regulate. We've done tapping. We've done bilateral work. She's now able to go down from a high-end state to a regulated state within minutes. Oh, she's off the list now. Off she goes into the dentist. Off she goes into the classroom. Off she goes outside. Oh, can you hear the planes? Off she goes into a different context. Has she got enough of that window of capacity, of tolerance within each of those contexts? So how can we help the little Traces, the littlies, the nervous systems that are still developing and how can we help? We have to help them understand themselves, understand their nervous system with the tools to support it, understand their sensory differences, understand, yes, the tools of emotional regulation, yes, but even in those sorts of contexts, how could you, so let's go back to the dentist. So you're there. You might be listening to bilateral beats, you might be doing a little bit of tapping, and you're there, and there, all sorts of things happening. But you are going up because it's too much. It's just too much. For the nervous system, it's too much. How can we help them? We help them by letting them know that it's a moment. It's not a forever. this moment that they are in the chair, in that moment, their nervous system has been activated, sensory system, in that moment. But it will end. It will end. They will be able to walk away. They will be able to do, so remember going down that, I feel like I need to move my hand. Right, going down the scale. You're going to have to go down by doing a little bit of. So let's say you go for a walk. Let's say, just bilateral work, let's go for a walk. Let's go into a quiet room. Let's just do some proprioceptive work. Let's just massage. Let's do something just to bring your nervous system down to a more regulated state. And then say, when that's happened, wow, well done. You have gone, your nervous system went from calm and regulated to freaking out. Imagine the words of the child, freaking out, and back down to calm and regulated. And that is the goal. That is the goal. And then you've got self at the top, belief systems. I can. Not I can't. I can do this, because they need to be able to deal with dentists, doctors, college, interviews, driving lessons, driving test, exams, off the top of my head. Context, they're going to have to. And it's not about, struggling with emotional regulation. Look at the whole thing. It's not one moment, it's got a whole thing, and help them understand all of those factors and build the capacity to deal with it, strengthen the parasympathetic. I know on the site I keep going, oh, this yoga, so now there's yoga. Why are you putting on yoga? Because if we don't activate that parasympathetic time and time again, strengthening the capacity. When they're in those situations of stress, high stress, driving lessons, driving test, they won't go back. They will have tipped out of, I've dipped my toe out of my comfort zone, my optimal zone, my window of tolerance, and I didn't like it and I'm not doing it again. Or I dipped out, but I came back. And I'll probably do the same again for a little while until I've realised this is driving, or yeah, this is exams, this is what it's like. But we must help them understand all elements of themselves, understand, and then they have a choice. You don't have to drink water. It's a choice. It's the right choice. There's the adult, but, we need to look at what are all the other ways of getting fluids. Okay, don't drink water. Right, let's have a look at all the other ways. There has to be a way to help that nervous system. Sensory integration, massive. We don't integrate our senses. Don't know why I'm doing that. Integrate our senses, or they will fire away and move us up that scale just like that. It's fine, as long as we go back down. We know the flow, up and down, in and out of our window of tolerance, in and out of our capacity to deal with stress, knowing that it is just a moment. And it is not. This feeling of overwhelm is not forever. Can I deal with it for half an hour, for 5 minutes, for 2 minutes, for 3 seconds? Can I deal with it for 3 seconds? Yes. Okay, then we'll do that a few times. We'll do that. We'll deal with that because you want to go on that driving lesson. You want to pass that exam. Not we'll do that because I believe it's the right decision, says the adult. No. Ownership of it, taking responsibility. Do you want to pass that exam? Go to that setting. Do you want that? Yes. Do you feel it'll be overwhelming? Yes. Shall we try something? Shall we try? So that is a little bit of an overview. That's what we need to work on. That's that practitioner element, wearing that hat of how can we help this young person, this child, this individual? How can we help them in the now and in the future, in a context that you're not involved in? How can we help them build that capacity to deal with stress and, sort of safety net, be that safety net of, the champion, you're doing really well, waving that flag, it's going to be okay. Going to be okay. Not, I'm here to resolve this. Well, I'm here to resolve this difficulty you have. I'm trying to go back to the dentist context. You can't, unless you're going to be there to be, and even then it's going to be really tricky because they're going to say, help me. Help me. I can't. I need you to help me. And that is an okay thing, but that's not the role of the practitioner. The role of the practitioner is to empower them, to believe in themselves that they can do it on their own. I know I've got your back, but you've got this. You're going to be okay. I believe in you. I believe in you in that moment. And you just go through that checklist, but it's got to be building on each of those elements, each of those things. It's not a quick, short-term approach. If you have a dysregulated nervous system, attachment needs, sensory differences, and emotional needs, it's going to take longer. It's going to take time for the nervous system to feel more regulated. You're about to change a habit. Let's go back to drinking water. You're going to change a habit. Yes, I know I've got to drink more water. I just keep forgetting. Oh, says the subconscious. Yes, I will. I'll do it tomorrow. I promise I'm not going to have chocolate biscuits or anymore. It's a habit. And the nervous system, the body, likes predictable, likes a habit, likes the known. And we're coming in with the best of intentions to say, right, all those things that you were doing with the sugars and not sleeping and not moving, even movement. I'm going to put a plan together to change that, but it's up to you. It's up to you. But when their window of tolerance is here, it's teeny tiny steps of change, because they can't. But each time with the hydration, each time with the right food and the probiotic and the, all of that, just keep, and the sleep's improved, and, they've got outside, gone for a walk, and, okay, and back. Right, we'll try again. We'll try again. Drip, 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 drip of change. And then when it comes to context, then when it comes to that exam, and they're in that moment of, this is really noisy, I'm being activated, my nervous system is firing away to tell me to run, to tell me to get out of here. But I know that I am hydrated, I've eaten well, I've slept well, I've done everything I can for that. I know my safe person's over there if I need them. I'll put my hand up. I know I'm going to be okay with that. Sensory wise, I'm going to put things in my ear because any tiny noise is going to distract me. I'm going to wear clothes that aren't, because my temperature is going to go up. If I dissociate, it will drop. So maybe I take a jumper with me. I'm aware of my sensory needs. I might need to move. I might need to have a break. I might need, that's reasonable adjustments. But I know. And then if we're in that state, like, okay, I'm starting to go up the scale, I'm starting to feel dysregulated, I know the strategies. I'm going to do bilateral work under the desk. I'm going to do butterfly tap. I'm going to do some grounding and looking around the room for things that are yellow, things that are breathe. I know that I can activate my parasympathetic by my breath. I'm going to do all of those things, and I know I'm going to be okay. And that's what this is. That's the change. Rather than I can't, helplessness, hopelessness, furthest away from connection to self. And that's what we need with the bounce. It's connection to self, connection to all of the factors of all of those areas, knowing all of those areas, because I'm connected to all of those areas and I'm aware of who I am. And I will still be triggered by, for the child, for them to work out, I'm still going to be triggered by noise in the future. I'm still going to be triggered by certain smells for a while. May or may not grow out of that, I don't know. But it's awareness of my differences that gives me strength. And it's that strength, the empowerment of knowledge and the tools that go with it is what we're working towards. So if you're listening to this and think, yeah, that's what I want to know that, I want to know all of that, I want to know how to help them achieve all of that, then the practitioner course is for you. I'm going to record it and I'll tell you why. Lives are really hard to get people together. I would love to say, oh, we can do a live, face-to-face, in person, and all of these things. But it would be a long time because you have your coffee and your chat and your introductions, and then you'll have time to do an activity. Let's go for art. Or you want to get to know that. So that 45 minutes at least with that one. Time, before you know it, 3-day course. Before you know, I'm stretched that out a little bit there, maybe 2. Or consolidate. So that's why it's going to be recorded. So have a look through the site, get an idea of the ethos of this approach, what it's all about. And it is all about the individual nervous system, the individual need, helping them make changes, positive changes, and understand who they are so that they can build capacity outside of those one-to-one sessions. Transferable skills. How many times do we hear about interventions? Let's go for spelling. Spelling intervention. Well, Tracy went for that 6-week spelling intervention and she was doing really well. We went through all the words. Can she put them in a sentence, in context, in the classroom? Tricky, isn't it? It's really tricky. Sometimes. Why? We know this. Because we're in a different context, we're in a different environment, we're in a different situation. We're not putting ourselves under the pressure. When we put ourselves under pressure, this kind of disconnects a little bit and we can't remember that spelling pattern. Not everybody. Let's not put everybody in a box. But Think about the support for the child, the support for everyone that surrounds the child, including the family, knowledge, and empowering them with positive change, and recognizing that needs a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, right, yeah, let's try this, let's embed this, let's let it settle. Let's try this, let's let it settle and see what happens. I'm going to stop now. Thank you for watching. I hope that this has inspired you to access the training, and I would love to hear how you've got on, where you're from. People reach out to me lots of times to find out where the practitioners are. So it would be lovely to start creating a list of locations of where practitioners are, ensuring that you've got that supervision and access to keep your toolkit filled with new bits. That's the key, isn't it? So that when you are with a young person and there's a curveball of, I'm not doing this, you go, that's fine, we'll do this instead, knowing you're still achieving the same objective, which is building capacity. Dipping toe, in or back out, dipping toe into what they can cope with, or I think we could stretch this a little bit more. What do you reckon? Take care. Bye-bye.